Welcome to DAS001.com, and this week's presentation is sponsored by Emico and by a friend of the Eames Foundation. The film we're going to see this week is called 77 Steps. It's a film I made about the classic 1006 chair by Emico, sometimes known as the Navy chair. It was designed and built for the Navy in 1944, and they needed a very, very light chair for their submarines and other ships. And so naturally they turned to aluminum, but the question was how to make it really strong. So the process you're going to see in this film shows you just how they do it. They make it the same way today that they did in 1944. And afterwards, we'll talk a little bit more about this process. But now, 77 steps. So that film was 77 Steps. It's a film I made about 6 or 7 years ago, and it got started because I met the owner of Emico, Greg Bookbinder, and at one of the design events we're both involved with, and he told me he had this beautiful, wonderful factory with these great workers there, and they're making an incredible product, which of course I knew the product, and I really had to come see it. And when I went there, it was magic, and you couldn't help but be struck by how much work and effort goes into every single chair and just the way things are done right again and again and again. And so that's what inspired me to make the film. And of course, when you look at that chair, one of the fun things about it, in some ways, it looks like a wooden chair. But again, that makes sense because of its origin from being done originally for the Navy. There was a design. They wanted a vernacular and a style that the people who would be using the chair would be comfortable with, and then it became the aluminum chair. And the whole process is really not just almost, but literally unchanged from 1944, because what you have to do to make the chair work is that heat process at the very end that you saw actually realigns all the molecules of the aluminum in the chair, so that chemically it's really one piece of aluminum, and that's what gives the chair its strength. So hope you enjoyed the show, and come back next week.